Monday.
Happy Monday, the Curt and Jen podcast. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate it after a long and I'm sure big time weekend. What's that for? 10?
10 days. 10 days until Christmas, including today, including Monday.
That's
10
accurate.
days until Christmas.
Well, you've got all your shopping done too, right?
No, I don't have my shopping done, and I have wrapped. I've been wrapping by fire. Wrapping by fire meaning I'm going to a party and I have a present to bring. Wrap it.
Wrapping.
The day of.
Okay. Well, all I had to share is I forgot to put in a high quality microphone, so it probably sounds bad today, but I'll fix that for tomorrow. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Seeing as I'm in Florida, as
You
I say,
are
Florida,
yes,
visiting my family and stuff. So, but we're still managing to do the podcast every day. We appreciate you liking and well, I was going to say friending, but it's not friending.
liking,
Liking
following,
and
subscribing, loving, all of it.
all the things,
All the
as you
things.
always say.
Do all the things, please.
Taylor Swift had a birthday on Friday. We have the amount of dollars that her boyfriend Travis spent on her birthday.
And what he bought.
Yes. Why and when also coming up in the show. Why and when you should walk like a penguin. Right?
Perfect jobs for people who don't like people.
There's that.
Which I can't wait to read because my daughter Riley says she doesn't like people, even though she interacts with them well. Which season do you want to be in right now? We're going to talk about that. And
we also have you sharing your funniest bumper stickers that you've ever seen. That was what you're supposed to do over the weekend. We do have some good ones for sure. So shall we get to it then?
Yes, let's do it. A quick little weekend recap, if you will. Do you want to recap the movies?
Yeah, actually, because I didn't know anything about this movie, and I think people that are part of, I think, is this Marvel or DC? I don't know, but there is a movie.
It's Marvel.
Okay, Craven the Hunter, which people were having high hopes for. Really, what's the word? Bombed.
Really?
At the box office. Only $11 million in its debut weekend. It had to cost a fortune to make. So wow. It came in third. Now, granted, it's tough this time of year because you've got Moana 2 out there, and you've got Wicked out there to try to top, and it did not do that. But it's still 11 million. That's not great at all for the old Craven. In fact, it was one of the worst weekends ever for any picture based on a Marvel character. So I guess also, but the nice thing is that reviewers ravaged the film, but audience gave it a C. It doesn't look good for the old
These are not
Craven.
the kind of records you want to be breaking at the box office.
Obviously not. Yes. So there you go. That's the weekend stuff. And then not much to say in sports. The Hawks lost to the Packers and the Kraken lost to Tampa Bay on Saturday night. However, since I am in Florida, we were able to watch the game because it was local Tampa Bay. So I got to actually see them lose. But I did also get to see my wife in the audience, which was kind of
you did.
She's not here with me. She had to stay home and take care of the house. That's not why she's home, but she was unable to come this time. So I was able, hey, there's Dana, which is it was a little comforting or something. I don't know what the word was.
Who did she bring to the game with her? Because it wasn't me.
Oh, somebody.
Okay.
Let me share you this. This is going to go under the category of first world problems, probably.
Okay.
Because I obviously flew down here to Florida. This was on Friday, and immediately I wanted to just go to sleep. Right. That's what I want to do on a flight, and it wasn't like a nighttime flight. It was a daytime flight. So other people were not interested in sleeping. We'll put it that way. So I had my eyes closed, and I'm doing okay. The people next to me, it was a couple. And they seemed nice enough, but they were playing a card game. And every time the hand was done or whatever, and it was time to shuffle, okay? And I needed to have the sound effect. Shuffling cards go,
yeah.
That sort of shuffle thing.
Yeah.
Every time, and I don't know if this was a OCD thing, 11 shuffles, 11, rap, and then rap. And then
did they do the bridge too? Did they brap it and then bridge it too?
No, there was no bridge. It was just 11 braps. And it was each time 11 shuffles. Each hand or whatever they did. I don't know if they're I don't even know what game they were playing, but it took maybe 5 minutes to get through a hand, and then it was 11 times each time, which interfered with my ability to sleep. And so I'm going to, I don't know, sue somebody. That's what you do, right?
Yes. I love that. That's funny that you say that, Curt.
First world problem. Somebody probably has sued for that and won. So probably. And I'm not saying keep that in mind when you're shuffling cards in a flight. The dude next to you might be trying to sleep, but 11 shuffles every time seemed like
so that extreme. Was the highlight from your weekend, is that you card shuffling on a flight?
that was the highlight from the flight, which is not saying much. No, the weekend we hung out and I went to the reason why I'm down, my whole family is down here. That's why, I come to visit. But my
Yeah.
dad he got out of the hospital, is doing fine. He's in a rehab situation after you get out of the hospital for a little while,
Physical
rehabilitation
rehab,
place. And
yeah.
so it was time for me to come down here and do my part because both my sisters have been spending a lot of time there. And even though it's one of those things where it's what I want to do, but I have a full-time job as well, not me, my sisters. And so anyway, I figured, oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I've got some time on my hands. I'll fly down to Florida. And
That's nice of you, Curt. Plus, I'm sure
well,
your dad loves seeing you.
it's
Uh,
been fun. What about you for the weekend?
well, I mean, my weekend was really all about, our friend Debbie, her 60th birthday party at
Right,
Tulalip Casino Resort, which I helped with. I helped do a few of the things,
right.
and and it was a fancy party too, so it was just fun to get super dressed up. I made she really wanted a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting with raspberry filling, so I made from scratch all of it that
Nice.
for her, which was
Well,
kind
I
of
saw some of the pictures you posted, and you guys were dressed to the nines. What's more than that? The tens? You were dressed to the tens.
it was really, really fun. First, I have a question for you. When you celebrate birthdays, whoever you celebrate them with, do you put the number of candles correlating to your age on the cake?
No, the cake wouldn't hold that many candles. It would
Yes, it
collapse.
will. See, we had a discussion about this. I'm like, why are you putting, if you don't put the number of candles, that's what the candles are for. They're representing every year. So
Well,
I don't know if
since
you
you
saw
said
the
already,
picture, but
you said
60
already
candles were on the cake.
there were 60 candles on the cake for reals.
Yes.
Well, that must have been a pretty big cake then too, which I'm sure you're excited about.
No, it's just a typical, whatever, 8 or 9 inch round, but it was a big flame in the middle when we lit it. It was fun though.
Wait, you had 60 candles all like in a circle, like all scrunched together in the center?
Well,
Like a giant.
it was a round cake, so it kind of went around the whole cake.
Oh, okay. I thought you had it like a torch in the middle, like all these candles all scrunched together with
Well,
a
it
big
kind of
old thing.
looked
That'd
like
be
a
kind of
torch.
cool.
It looked a little like a torch. It
All
was
right.
super fun. It was, like I said, fun to get dressed up. I called them my 1 hour shoes because they were super, super cute with silver bow on them, but they
And
were
they
a
last
high
for an
heel.
hour.
They were a high heel, so I called them my 1 hour shoes. And I had with me my sparkly red transition slippers. I lasted 2 hours. Lasted 2 hours in the high heels, transitioned to my slippers, and my feet paid for it the rest of the night and all day yesterday.
Well, you went down to the club and you were on a dance floor for a good portion of the night,
That
right?
that was part of the party. We all went down and went dancing, and I hadn't done that in a long time, so that was fun. We went to bed around 1:30, and you can just forget
Ooh.
about yesterday. I mean, it was just like I was dragging. Like, it's hard to recover when you party like we did. And I wasn't even drinking that much. I think I had pretty small drinks, and
Hmm.
then one mini beer shot, which is something that tastes like vanilla ice cream. I think I've talked about it before. One of those, and that was it for the night. The rest of the night, I drank water, and still I was like, oh my God. Ugh.
That's why we have to be careful. You get to a certain age, and it's like, well, when I was in college, it took me, after a hard night, it took me a couple hours the next day, and I was fine. Then as time goes on, the next day you're pretty much wrecked. And then after a while, it's like, well, now I'm wrecked until Tuesday from a Saturday night party. So I get it.
Seriously. And there are so
I
many
get it.
photos, so many photos. And Kurt, you and I know how this is. And it's just like you see a photo of yourself, and it's like, what has happened to me?
Stop that. You
Seriously.
can't, if I can't joke about being old, you can't joke about
I'm going to. Anyway,
gravity.
that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. You wanted to do this because we already talked about this new, I wouldn't say invention, this new product called
Well,
the,
here's the thing. My friend Amanda
mhm.
sent me a little link saying, I know you guys talked about this on your show. Here's a follow up. And I'm like, yes. So it's the Liquid Death's Pit Diaper, which this
Right.
is how it was marketed. The Pit Diaper is an innovative new solution to help fans like you relieve themselves in the safety of the mosh pit and still enjoy the great tasting liquid death you love. Meaning, liquid death is water. Like, you can drink as much water as you want in the mosh pit, and you can just pee yourself, and you don't have to leave to go to the bathroom, because if you leave to go to the bathroom, you're going to lose your place in the mosh pit. So the Pit Diaper is powered by Depend, like the Depends you
Okay.
wear if you're incontinent. which
Hmm.
comes with a 52 Depends guards. So it's like this like diaper cover, really, if you will, that's crafted from cruelty-free quilted leather material and is detailed with chains and spike accents. They were $75 each, sold out in less than 24 hours. Done. There's no more.
How many did you buy?
Zero. I didn't have a chance. They sold out too
What?
quickly. That was going to be your Christmas present.
Oh, yeah. I like how it says to help fans like you. They're just assuming that all of us end up in a mosh pit at one point or not another.
I
You got
just
to
thought it
have
was
your
I was just thought it was interesting that I'm like, because when we did the story when it first broke, we're like, who's gonna buy these? Apparently,
a
lots of
lot of
people.
people, it turns out.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Travis did
Just
not
as
buy
a heads
Kelsey
up,
a pit diaper. He did not buy her a pit diaper.
no. And there's not going to be too much math for you because I know it's a Monday. We want to keep the math to a minimum. But so you've heard of this Taylor Swift person, right?
Yeah,
Celebrated her 35th birthday on Friday, which also was Friday the 13th. That doesn't really enter into it, other than that's her favorite number, 13. But if you're wondering what her boyfriend Travis got her, again, not first world problems, but well, this isn't first world anything. This is bajillionaire issues, right?
yeah, and this is like here when we tell you how much he spent on her. That's like us. This he yeah. It's pocket
Well, we'll get
change
to
for
that.
him.
But here's first of all, you just need to know by now you know that Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift are dating. And
Yeah,
he spent the number is a little bit mind-boggling because he spent for her 35th birthday close to $175,000 in gifts for Taylor. Hmm.
I know, but like I was saying, for the common folk, yes, that seems like an excessive amount of money, of course. But for him, he makes a crap ton of money, and so that's nothing. That's
Well, the
like
math breaks down to this. So he makes 17.125 million a year. So basically that would be like if it was a person making $100,000 a year, it'd be the same as if they spent $1,000 on their honey, which is I guess that's not unreasonable, you know.
okay. This
That's
this
that's what it
first
breaks down to.
this first thing that we're going to talk about that he bought her is mind-boggling to me because he spent $19,000 on flower arrangements. He bought her 35
Hmm.
luxury flower arrangements. Now, why 35? It's because she was turning 35 years old. So he
Right.
bought her 35 floral arrangements, $19,000. What else, Curt?
Okay. How about the $60,000 for a rose gold day date 36 Rolex?
I
Now, if
looked
you
that
if
up,
you
by the
like
way.
watches or you're into watches, you probably know that must be a very expensive. Well, it's a $60,000 watch.
I
So
looked it up and it doesn't look like anything special. What I do want to know that they didn't list here is what color face he decided to go with for Taylor for that version of the watch.
do you think it was probably pink?
I don't know.
All right. 22 grand for a Tiffany and Company gold split cuff bracelet featuring a heart engraving on the inside. You got that. And
Okay.
then how about a 25,000 for an Elsa Peretti open heart bracelet?
I mean, and then $48,000 for a necklace, pendant, and matching earrings from Van Cleef and Aprils.
Okay. Now that
Arpels,
at the bottom it
Arpels.
says a source says 35 years old is a very important birthday. That is like 35?
Okay.
All right. And he wanted to make things really special for the occasion, right? Really special for a special occasion. I never and do what you want. I just never looked at 35, that's a monumental birthday. It's like, I think the 10 years are, 30, 40, 50.
I would
After you
agree.
get 21, there's very few left that are of any.
Yes.
So there you go. If you have an extra $175,000 around, perhaps you could be Taylor Swift's boyfriend as well, right?
Yeah. The number one New Year's resolution for 2025 is a diet, but it's a
Hmm.
diet for your wallet.
The diet part is no surprise. Every year we're like, I'm going to lose weight or whatever. The diet for your wallet. Here we go. Americans are expected to spend more than 1,000. There you go. There's another $1,000 on gifts. Okay, so that's from the last stories. They're going to spend more than $1,000 on gifts over the holidays. That's not just generous. It's saying it's a new record. So if you're not flush with cash right now, you may be spending more than you should. Guilty, and it's not even
Me too.
Christmas. Not even here yet.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
A new poll asked people what they plan to resolve to start doing in 2025, and the top response was saving more money. Hence the
Hmm.
diet for your wallet.
That was number one. After that was improving your physical health. Other things on there, exercising more, which I guess could be tied in with the dieting thing, being happy, eating healthier, losing weight, and a lot. Some of these seem like they're repeats.
Yeah.
So exercising more, being happy, eating healthier, losing weight, improving their mental health. That's a good one. Learning something new and reading more along with improving your relationships. Those are your
That's
top.
nice.
What do you got?
I got, well, I mean, other less common responses. Is that what you want to know? Focusing on spiritual matters, traveling, which is surprising to me that traveling's, like less mentioned. Quitting a bad
Hmm.
habit, getting a new job, and moving.
About a third of Americans plan to make a New Year's resolution this year. Ah, it's hard not to because it's just what everybody does. But I mean, typically my New Year's resolutions were the stuff from 4 months earlier that I said I should probably just do this now. That's my
Right?
August resolution or whatever. Hey, how about this? And then New Year's comes along, it's the same thing, right?
I mean, there's already 5% of people already saying their New Year's resolution is not likely to stick, and
Hmm.
2% say they're doomed from the start. So why even bother, really? I don't even get it. Here's the
I just
thing.
think,
I try not to do the New Year's resolutions. I might set a goal, and part of
hmm.
my goal setting would be, okay, here's my plan to get to the goal. Like, I'm going to do this and here's my plan. And hopefully I can
Okay.
stick to those little steps. Who knows?
Is this going to sound like bragging if I say I got to turn on this fan because I'm starting to sweat here? It's
Yeah,
very warm here in
turn
Florida.
on the fan, Kurt.
I'm turning on the fan. You said it was a distraction.
Because Kurt is in like 70 plus degree weather in
Hmm.
Florida.
Still wearing cracking gear, by the way. I did not forget.
Thank goodness.
I bought
Okay.
cracking gear
I
for
need
every
I need our
show.
transition music, Kurt.
Well, this is kind of a sad story. I didn't know if you wanted some or not. So I'm gonna. This is probably way upbeat. All right. So don't yell at me for this transition music.
Okay. Terrible. You're right. We shouldn't have played transition music. So
You
here's
told
this.
me to.
I know we did. I know I did. We need to label our transition music like this is sad transition music and this is upbeat, happy transition music.
Let's hear the sad story, please.
Okay. Conan O'Brien's parents, both parents, died within 3 days of each other. So it's kind of an over the weekend
Last
type of thing.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Um,
dad, Dr. Thomas O'Brien, died last Monday at the age of 95. Then his mother, Ruth, passed on Thursday. She was 92. Which let me jump in here and say what I like is the wrong word, but what I think is really amazing about that is when you have people pass so close to each other, it's almost like, they knew that, okay, it's time to go and we're going to go together. And I just, if there's a way to pass on, why wouldn't it be,
for
within just a
sure.
couple of days with your true love?
I
That
love
part I think is pretty
I
cool.
I love that too. That's a beautiful thing. And they both lived long lives. I mean, 95 and 92 years old. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And the sad part to me is, well, that his parents died, right? Now he has no parents. But that reminded me, and I was telling you, Kurt, before we started recording, that this reminded me of a Facebook post I saw over the weekend of one of my Facebook friends, Lisa, who lost her dad. And I I so appreciate, and Kurt, I know you do too, when someone can write things so beautifully. Our friend Anne Marie is the same way. She writes beautifully, right? And so I
Hmm.
wanted to just share this post, and I don't know if I can get through it because it really made me cry. Um, about the words that she expressed after losing her dad. She said, "Today I carry the weight I never wanted to bear, the loss of a parent, my dad. It's a unique kind of grief, a blend of love, memories, and the ache of realizing they were the roots that grounded me. In his absence, I feel the magnitude of all he gave, the lessons, the sacrifices, the quiet moments of love that I might have overlooked. To anyone walking this path, know that your sorrow is valid and your memories are the bridge to their presence. May we honor him by living with the grace he instilled in us, one moment at a time."
That is well written. That would
Right?
be, that's an odd, that would be, you can't come much better with an obituary than that. That was
Right?
pretty great.
And
Yeah.
it's few words, right? It's not like this big long thing. It's like these few words that are powerful. And I, thank goodness, don't know that grief. And know I will at some point. And Kurt, I know that you do because you lost your
Hmm.
mom. And it's just like
Yep.
we talked about, it's like a different kind of loss when you lose a parent that you're close to. So anyway, I
Um,
just wanted to share that. I thought that was beautiful. And for those who have lost parents, I'm sorry. I just can't even imagine.
when my mom passed, of course, we had a very a beautiful ceremony and all that stuff. And then to honor her, later that day, I went to we were in Cincinnati. That's where she's buried. And so I went out with some people that from the we ended up going to like a Chili's. It was a local place, but it was like a Chili's. And I said, hey, my mom just died. Can I get a free appetizer?
Shut your mouth. Did you really?
She would have loved that. I'm sorry.
You did that that's a true story?
That's a true story.
Did
That's
they
that's
give
how
you
you
a
bring
free
humor into it.
appetizer?
I did not get a free appetizer.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I don't know how many times has a server heard the opening, hey, my mom just died. Can I get something for free?
Okay, you're only asking for an appetizer for free and your mom just died. They should
Well,
honor that.
they'd probably say, I want to see the death certificate. Like, I just enjoyed the fact that, of course, the other people at the table were like, oh my God. I was like, mom would have liked that. And she
What a
would have.
terrible marketing ploy too if a restaurant were to do that. We offer free appetizers if your parents just died.
You should open a restaurant like that.
Oh my God.
See how successful it is, right?
I like how we
All right,
so
this was it.
On our show, right? We talked about death and now we're going to talk about this fun Easter egg.
Shaboozey. By now, you know Shaboozey and his song, which I still have a hard time not calling it Tipsy because basically it's a remake of the song Tipsy from Jaquan, but it holds very well as a song on its own, even if you don't know the original. And of course, it's been #1 for like, I don't know, 4.5 years now, right? Well, 19 weeks.
Okay, can I
And
talk about what people need to do?
yes, please go ahead. This is
Because
awesome.
Kurt, I feel like you're not easily impressed, right? Kurt, so when I tell Kurt, I'm like, Kurt, Google Shaboozey, and he's like, oh man, that's
All
kind of
right.
cool. So if you literally go into your Google search and Google Shaboozey,
You
then
might want to spell it for people.
it's
Shaboozey.
yeah, Shaboozey. When you hit enter, it pulls up a screen with Shaboozey and it looks like tipsy. It's tipping back and forth.
And what I think is cool about that is so I assumed, okay, I'm going to go to Shaboozey's, webpage and it's going to be funny. But when you actually go to the Google results come back in and the Google page is actually like, oh,
The actual page itself is like tipping back and forth, and I think it's brilliant and awesome. And so many people are going to be Googling Shaboozey, but it's worth it.
plus you can feel drunk without actually getting drunk, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know that you want to feel that.
Yeah,
But
that didn't impress you very much.
Yeah, I thought it was
Feel drunk without
super
getting
fun.
drunk. Yeah,
If you think
it's worth
about
doing it
it,
just for
yeah.
fun. All you got to do is Google Shaboozey and you'll see what Jen is talking about here. Yeah.
You know what I didn't do, Kurt? I'm going to just try this really quick. Go to the next temperature. The story is about temperature. Go to the next story. Okay. I'm going to try Googling it on my phone because we Googled it on our PCs.
Okay, and see if you can share it. Okay. All right. This is something I think that I knew, but it was never actually explained to me. But they're saying as things get, did you find it already, Jen, by the way?
It works. Just you can Google it on your phone too, and it'll go like this. It's more impressive on your PC on a bigger screen, but it does happen on your...
Can you hold your phone up to the screen so people that are watching can see what's going on or not?
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Before we get into the next story. It's not as impressive on the phone. You're right,
yeah.
but
it does move.
It's worth doing.
Okay.
So as temperatures start to drop and it starts to get icy, and I should tell Jen right now, be careful when you're leaving my house because the wood deck out in front, the wood entryway gets very slippery. I don't want you to fall.
Okay. Maybe you
just saying, even when it's just frosty out.
Okay.
According to the Mayo Clinic, about 800,000 people a year need medical attention after a slip or fall. And in the winter months, of course, icy conditions can help, lead to that a lot more. So they have here, the best way to walk on ice is to walk like a penguin. This was never explained to me. It makes sense. And it might be kind of funny to watch.
You've never heard about this before?
No, I mean, I walked carefully. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest. So, it was always icy and snowy in the wintertime. I walked carefully, but I never walked like a penguin.
Okay. Here's how to walk like a penguin in case you didn't know. Number one, there's 4 easy steps to follow. Number 1, you keep your knees relaxed in an active position so you're ready to react. Point your feet slightly outward. Get in your waddle stance. Number 3, walk slowly while shuffling your feet. Small shuffle steps are best. Keep your center of gravity over your feet. So you might be leaning forward a little bit. And the reason these small shuffling steps work is because of friction and gravity. The larger your steps, your steps, the more force, which increases the likelihood of falling. And let me tell you, hot firefighter boyfriend Pat, when it's icy out, he goes to a lot of calls from people who have fallen and can't get up.
They can be very dangerous too. You can split open your head and stuff,
Yeah, that's
So
true.
walk like a penguin, or if you remember Charlie Chaplin, I guess walk like Charlie Chaplin. Same type of thing.
And
No
you're
guarantees,
welcome.
but you're less likely to injure yourself. And Jim, would you describe yourself as klutzy or not?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay. I didn't know if that was something that you were going to start putting into play, or if you
Walking like
already
a
did walk
penguin?
like a penguin.
I mean, when it's icy out, I definitely am more careful about when
I
I
was more
walk.
like this, just like balanced and just careful little
Small step,
steps,
but
but I
small
did not do the
steps. Yeah,
penguin walk.
small steps.
That's the
Okay.
important thing there,
Yep.
small steps.
Well, it's icy and it's chilly and wintry. Well, it's not officially winter yet, but what
It's
season
not
would you
any of those
most
things. I'm sitting here in sunshine and
I
sweating.
know you are. Which season would you most like to be in right now? Summer seems to be the obvious choice, but maybe not. If
Well,
you
this
could
is almost like, is this saying what's your favorite season? What part of the story was basically what they call chasing seasons, which I think they're saying, okay, well, how about this? If you're booking a trip to Australia right now, it's summer there
so
while
you're
it's winter
chasing
here.
summer.
Right. So if you're chasing that, about a quarter of people said they've chased seasons before. But then it begs the question, well, what season would you choose to chase? And you'd be surprised, I think, at the answer, right? Because
I
right away, Jen's like, well, you want to chase summer. Where you want to
Yeah.
go where it's summertime all the time. No,
What's the season?
fall. The most common answer was fall.
Why?
It doesn't have why. I'm just saying the answer. Fall followed by summer, then spring. Winter is last. But I guess if you're into snow sports, you might be saying, "Hey, I'm going to go to such and such now because it is winter there, and I can ski or snowboard or whatever." So apparently, the nice news is it says you can experience fall for free right now. Just step outside. That assumes that you're not listening to us in Australia. If you are listening in Australia, we appreciate that
Right.
and enjoy the
Okay.
sunshine, right?
Yep.
The
Moving on.
Australian sunshine.
We gotta hustle up. We are defined by time in a Zoom call.
Okay, what are we doing?
I want to know if Santa wrapped your gifts when you were a kid. When you went down to get your Santa gifts from under the tree, were they wrapped or not wrapped?
Wrapped, always wrapped.
Mine too. Always wrapped, unless it was no. Even when I think I got a bike one year and it was still wrapped, like covered up with a bow.
Did it look like a bike though?
Kind of.
Okay, I was going to say it wasn't like in the box, unassembled.
Here's the.
Oh, I wonder what that is.
It was an assembled bike. A
All
pull
right. Well, a
found.
third of, and this says seniors. I assume it doesn't mean seniors in high school. 29% of seniors say that's how they operated when they were kids. Is that they did not get Santa to wrap the presents.
No.
Santa did not wrap the presents. You just go to, maybe there'd be a bow on it, right? But the bike would just be there, or a train would be there with a little bow on it, or I don't know, a model
Yeah.
car or something like that.
What they're saying is back in the day, Santa would wrap gifts.
Right.
Now, not so much. Right? Isn't that what it's saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
When the seniors were kids, that they would go downstairs and the stuff would be wrapped, but apparently things have changed over time.
Now it's
And
not
now,
wrapped.
Because only 6% of people under the age of 30 said when they were young, Santa wrapped the gifts. Only 6%, that means 94% would go downstairs and they would not be wrapped. I'd never heard of that. I just always assumed that all the presents were wrapped under the tree, period.
Yeah,
That was
and
just
it was
it.
special wrapping. Like it was special wrapping. It was special Santa wrapping. That there was no other presents under the tree with that wrapping.
Well, I like the line in here. It's such a busy month for Santa. Maybe Santa should not take it easy, or should take it easy and not stay up until 2 a.m. to get everything wrapped
And
for
just
everybody in the entire world.
slap a tag on it and call it a day.
There you go.
I think that Santa's gonna wrap for me.
What was that?
I think think that Santa will still provide wrapped presents in my household.
You're getting presents from Santa?
Yeah?
I don't get any presents from Santa anymore.
Well, that's too bad. All right. The perfect
All
job
right,
for
perfect jobs for people who don't like people. When you're discussing career paths, maybe you're thinking about, oh, I want to do this job because it gives me a lot of job satisfaction, or it fits my lifestyle, or it pays a certain amount of money. But some people apparently go into a job saying, I want a job that I can do where I don't have to deal with people because I don't like people. And we have some suggestions. If you don't like people, what you can do. Go for it, Jen.
Power plant operator. Some kinds of doctors like pathologist or a morgue doctor.
I guess you don't deal with a lot of people there. But then some of these jobs is like,
Well, because
one
they're
of them says,
dead.
if you don't, excuse me, if you don't like people, be a lighthouse keeper. Are there still lighthouse keepers?
Right. Or any job that allows you to wear earphones so you don't have to talk to anybody.
I mean, just
Or
tune
hear
people
them.
out. Night guard at a museum, it says. If you're a baker, of course, you don't have to deal with a lot of people because you're waking up at 2 a.m. Like certain morning, why isn't that on here? Morning show radio host.
Commercial
And
truck
finally,
driver.
commercial truck driver, I think is, it says driving is as lonely as you want it to be.
Oh, and also a radiologist and a welder.
How about the last one on this list? Assassin.
Oh my God.
If you don't like people, that can be part of your job. I don't like you.
Oh,
Kabang.
geez. All right. Let's move on to our funniest bumper stickers you've ever seen. That was the question we asked you on Friday for the Curt and Jen podcast question of the day. Your answers, you showed up again. Stephanie, you followed Jesus this closely?
Funny, that's the bumper sticker. Laura said, why am I in this handbasket and where are we going? That's funny.
I didn't understand Matt's.
You never heard the phrase going to hell in a handbasket?
No, that one I understood. Matt
Oh.
next, though. I don't understand his.
Matt said the name Hugh Janus, 24. That's who he wants for president in 24, which did not happen. But he was going to vote for Hugh Janus. Huge anus.
Oh, I get it now.
Stephanie also, I think we talked about Stephanie's already. But Anne and Stephanie both said, I'm only speeding because I have to poop.
My roommate Jackie has that bumper sticker on hers too.
She always has to poop because she's always speeding.
Yes. Barb's said, don't be a Richard. And then a separate one that she saw, children are often spoiled because no one will spank grandma.
Debbie saw the bumper sticker. I've seen this one as well. Driver carries no cash. He's married.
That's awesome.
James, who must live in Bend, Oregon. Bend sucks. Don't move here.
And then Ina said, ass doc.
ASSDOC. Proctologist. Well, do you remember the Seinfeld episode? He was Ass Man. He had a license plate that was Ass Man. And then along the same lines with the ass thing, maybe we've all heard ass, gas, or grass. No one rides for free.
Yeah, Pat, not my Pat. Pat said that one. So
Yeah,
thank
well,
you
maybe
for
it's your
that.
Pat too. I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
I've never needed to have a ride from him, but now I know the answer.
Okay. Curt, I saw this on social media and I had to just put it in here because it was so up my alley. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. 5 things your doctor should be prescribing you, but probably isn't. Number 1, hugs.
Sure.
Number 2, sunshine.
Okay.
Number 3, laughter. Number 4, gratitude. And number 5, self-hypnosis. And I'm like, what's self-hypnosis? It's just basically good self-talk. That's what it is. It's telling yourself all the good things, like including things that you want in the future. It's like stating, like in your mind, visualizing what your future looks like. Yes. So to keep the positivity going.
Those are 5 good things. And more than, well, hopefully occasionally doctors might say, you know what else I want you to take? How about having some more sunshine and laughter in your life? That'd be great.
Yeah.
But typically I don't think they prescribe those things.
Or go get some more hugs in your life because you need them, which you really do.
You can see Jen for that. She will give you a hug no matter who, where, whatever, whenever, and it will last for at least 6 seconds.
And that's because that's when all the good chemicals come out.
I know.
It's really 13 seconds. I really should be hugging longer.
13 seconds can get kind of awkward, Jen.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. Our C&J podcast question of the day for you to answer
Mhm.
on Facebook on the Curt and Jen in the Morning Facebook page. If you don't already follow us, please do. Something you
Something.
something that
Go.
you did for the first time in 2024. This year was something you did for the first time.
I thought I had one, but it was actually 2023, so I don't think that it counts. I've
It
got to come
doesn't.
up
We're
with a new
asking
one.
about this year.
Right. My 2023 one was I tried kangaroo meat.
Oh, that okay. Well, you got to think of something for this past year that you did for the first time. The first time for I have several. I'll share one now, and I'll share a couple tomorrow. I'm going to share my big one, and that was I lost my job. I've never lost my job before.
Well, that's really uplifting. I love that. I can't even say that. I've lost a job before. Do you know, Jan, between with you and solo by myself and with Leonard and Corrine, I did mornings on Star 101.5 three separate times. It's like they kept trying to get rid of me, but I just wouldn't go away.
Now it's for good.
Kind of like herpes. Oy.
Oh, okay. All right. You know what? Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have an awesome. This is really the last full week before Christmas. So I hope it's off to a great start.
And it is the last full moon before the end of the year. I think we might have been past it. That might have been last night. So
Last
enjoy
night
this.
was a full moon. It was beautiful.
Yeah, enjoy this final, almost full moon of the year.
Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness. Have a good one. Thank you for listening.